Hello, how's it going? Super excited to be here and share a little bit more about our recent iced tea launch. We did launch exclusively on Amazon, but we'll get into more of that story here shortly. So again, my name's Natalie. I'm the Director of Digital Retail here at Liquid Death. And for those of you who are not as privy with our brand, we were founded in 2019 as a premium water beverage company. Originally, that was just our single can of mountain water. That's our white can. About 18 months after that, we launched with our plain sparkling water. About a year ago, we launched with our first 3 sparkling flavors, and so that was Mango Chainsaw, Berry It Alive, and Severed Lime. Very on-point branding, as I'm sure you guys appreciate. And then earlier this year, we launched with a spicy watermelon flavor called Convicted Melon. Again, super fun. And then earlier this month, so hot off the press, you guys are some of the first people who are getting to hear about our recent iced tea launch. That launched on March 1st this month, and so excited to dive into that more. But launched 3 flavors: Armless Palmer, Grim Leafer, and Restin' Peach. And after this session and during lunch, make sure you guys can grab a can. It's gonna be by the food, so check it out. Let me know which flavor is your favorite, but we'll have some tea and water out there for you guys. And so as we started to think about, okay, you know, our water products were super successful. The water category is continuing to grow on Amazon and just in the US in general. And we've really started to capitalize on that growth, first in the water side, but then really in the sparkling water category as well. And as a brand, as we started to look forward to what does that next piece of growth look like for us, we thought, what better way to figure that out than ask your humans? And so we released a Twitter poll and we asked our loyal followers, which can of Liquid Death would you like to see next? And so the resounding answer here was iced tea, which was pretty cool to see. And not only do you want to hear about adoption from your loyal humans, you also need to make sure it's a viable market, right? So that's where we went out and did the research. And you know, the iced tea category over the last 4 years has grown anywhere from 5 to 12% year over year. And so it really just seemed like a great opportunity for us. And also, not to mention, it's a category ripe for disruption. There haven't really been any new category entrants in the last few years. And so now that we decided, okay, let's go to market with iced teas, the next thing to do in a very Liquid Death fashion is how can we overlay our brand identity and how we go to market with our products. And so, you know, being health conscious as a company is really truly in our DNA, building better for you beverages. And so how can we translate that to our new iced tea launch? Well, what we did was we microdosed our iced teas with only 6 grams of sugar and 30 micrograms of caffeine to make them better for you beverages than some alternatives in the market today. And then additionally, you know, in typical Liquid Death fashion, how do we make this fun, bold, exciting for not only our loyal followers, but how do we really look to make a splash in the category in general? And so that's where you'll see, we'll get into it in a couple of slides here, but really bringing what we call grandma energy. And so we really see iced tea as the original energy drink. Back in, you know, in today's day and age, it's what grandmas used to thrive on back in the day. So we'll dive into that and show you what that looks like, but it's a pretty exciting way of how we went to market. And then finally, you know, as I had mentioned before, the iced tea category is ready for disruption. There hasn't been a ton of innovation in the space. And so how can we sort of take this health-conscious point of view, make it fun and bold for our followers, and then continue to grow within a category that hasn't really seen fun, bold marketing in the past? And so what we did was to make this big splash really around grandma energy. We partnered with the producer of Jackass, Jeff Tremaine, and created a video to really kick off our launch. Not only from there, we actually have, you know, I'm not sure how much of you are aware, but Liquid Death is also very much an entertainment company. It's kind of in our DNA as well. And so in the past, we have launched on Spotify 2 albums of our greatest hates, which are actually music all around our hater reviews, which is pretty fun and exciting. And if you haven't seen that, go check it out on Spotify. We also created a short film called Dead Till Death, So, creating a video like this was just very much in our DNA and who we are. And so you'll notice the music in here is actually one of our hits from our metal album on Spotify, Greatest Hits. And then finally, I don't think this is something you'd take away from the video just inherently how it is, but we actually casted some Liquid Death employees to play the grannies in this video. And the rest kind of speaks for itself, so take a watch and excited to get your feedback.
Iced tea? Come on, Liquid Death. This is like my grandma's energy drink.
Yeah, hats off to our creative team. They really had some amazing ideas and really brought that grandma energy to life. And so we did try to get this video put on our product pages on Amazon. Unfortunately, it didn't get approved due to content standards. So we were able to make some cut downs, and on our product pages, you'll see appropriate PG versions of that broken down. But yeah, it was a very fun thing for the team to work on and really kind of go out with iced tea with a bang. And so what this did was just the beginning of our total, earned media play on the day of launch. Not only did we run the video, we partnered with actually famous grandma social media accounts to really bring that grandma energy and win the internet for a day. And so, spoiler alert, we won. It was really, really great. And, it kind of started with our 5 million social followers. Sort of starting to drive that social virality. But not only was it that, there was also, we leveraged our 1P infrastructure. So we have a whole text message list of shoppers who are loyal to us. We have a whole email list. We have a website. And what we actually did was we tagged a lot of those different avenues with Amazon attribution links. So not only could we understand where the traffic was coming in and what was working well for us, we also understood where the sales were converting in those various destinations. And so that was really insightful for the team to understand what worked well for us this time and then continue to lean into those avenues in the future. And so as you can imagine, this massive traffic spike, we're sending shoppers to Amazon. The end card of the video said, "Tell your grandma it's on Amazon." And so what happened is we had this massive traffic spike that went to Amazon, and because of the traffic, Amazon actually shut down our product page about 2 hours after launch. And so luckily, we have a great relationship with our vendor management team. We worked quickly with them to get it reactivated, and we were back on track, and we were able to leverage our emailing list to essentially send out an email to our loyal followers and tell them, hey, we broke Amazon, tea's a huge hit, get it before it's out of stock again. And so again, we saw that traffic spike to continue. And so that traffic spike, not only did it drive eyeballs and drive viewers, it actually also drove conversion. And so when we were planning with Amazon, what our demand forecast was, we actually sold through that within 6 days. So, on one hand, it's amazing to see huge boom, high conversion, but we were out of stock. And we were actually out of stock until just yesterday. We got our Prime badging back. So you guys can get some at home too. And then another thing that the team looked into was, okay, this is just our new iced tea launch. How did the business really impact the water side of our business, the merch side of our business? And we actually saw lifts in sales across those other two components as well. And so to dive a little deeper into what exactly the results looked like on Amazon, I think our biggest win was we got that #1 bestseller badge on Amazon, which in my previous life, I worked in agency client work, and we'd have some of the biggest brands in retail come to us and say, how do we get that #1 bestseller badge? We will pay any amount of money. How do we do it? How do we trick Amazon's algorithm into ranking us first, right? And so I think this is just really hats off to our marketing team that was able to execute and drive that traffic as well as conversion to help us achieve that #1 bestseller badge ranking. And then additionally, as a result, we planned our Born to Run PO with Amazon, which Amazon had forecasted at about 4 to 6 weeks of inventory. And again, we ran out of that in 6 days, so pretty compelling there as well. And then on the day of launch, we actually ranked #2 in grocery, which was something we also didn't expect, but was pretty big for the brand. We also saw our water SKU bump up in the grocery rankings as well. And then one thing that was really cool as well was that Liquid Death, as you can see here in the screen grab, is we were the top trending search term on Amazon the day after launch. And so you'll see a lot of category-driven terms in there, and we ranked right up there with them. And in the days after that, we used the Amazon search term report to see how we ranked in comparison. And so we saw that major lift the day after launch, but then we continued to see a lift in our rank in the days preceding the launch as well. And then as a result of this high traffic, high adoption, our Amazon team actually placed our biggest PO ever with Amazon as a result of this launch. So that was a nice achievement for the team as well. And then also through Amazon advertising, we were able to dig into the analytics and really understand how many of these shoppers were historical water shoppers or historical merch shoppers. And were they coming back for the iced tea, or were they totally net new shoppers to us? And so that was really helpful for the team to dig into and understand how to continue to, say, retarget our shoppers through DSP or other avenues on the platform. But yeah, overall, it was a smashing success. And overall, the biggest takeaway is just it was that virality that we drove when we won the internet for a day and got all that earned media for a fraction of the cost. So yeah, that's all I had to share on the launch, but excited to answer any questions that you guys have.
Does anybody have any questions? Well, I actually do have one. I mean, when you would talk about breaking Amazon, I guess is the best way to put it. Do you still rely on that? Like, how much can you have to change up what you're doing in order to make it work for you? And again, are you alienating, sort of the way we asked David, when you have this kind of advertisement? Are you worried that, I mean, I guess you're very much sticking to that specific demo that you're looking for, as opposed to maybe the mom who has the toddler, not a toddler, but you know what I'm saying. Are you trying to expand it all, or do you have other options, or is this where you want to be?
Yeah, so we're definitely digging into what that looks like for our brand, especially as we continue to move forward and want to know who that shopper is. Is it the stay-at-home mom? Is it the sober curious? And so we're getting a deeper understanding of what exactly that looks like. But honestly, one of the easiest ways for us to sort of test and learn that has been through DSP audience creation and just setting up a campaign, throwing a few $1,000s at it, understanding what shoppers do and don't convert. I think has been really helpful for us on the specific digital retail side. We also have a human insights team that focuses on, surveys, Nielsen type data to kind of gather more of those insights. But it's a quick test for us to be able to run some DSP campaigns and gather who those audiences are.
Got it. Anyone else? Any questions? All right. Oh, got one here.
Hey, I'm Ryan from Quantcast. Quick question for you, because I love the brand personally, but how do you know when it's the right time for your company to produce new SKUs like the flavored water competitor or the iced tea?
Yeah. It's a great question. I think as a company, we are a beverage brand, and we wanted to grow more outside of, be known more than just water. And so for us, it was kind of a strategic position for us as we think through the next several years. So it was really just evolving our brand as a whole. I'm not sure that there was any specific indicators that it was right for us, except for surveying our humans, looking at the market, understanding that now is the right time. I think iced tea was also just a category that really we saw many resemblances between water when we entered and just the iced tea market. And so kind of this deja vu of, hey, we've been here before, let's do it again with iced tea. We kind of felt like now was the right time, and it's been a year since we launched an innovative category, so the timing just kind of felt right for us.
Anyone else? Okay, well,
Hi, so I was just curious because coming from Manscaped, we kind of have to dabble in some of that, restrictive content land. How are you guys combating the restrictions? And I guess, what does your media mix look like? And kind of like, how are you playing in that field of that, risky content?
Yeah, how do you go up to the line without crossing it? It's a great question. I think for us, because, kind of like the, similar brands, like we don't have any profanity in our title, that's been helpful for us. I also think what's a little bit interesting for us is, we've been able to kind of look at some alcohol brands, but being a non-alcohol company, there's a lot fewer barriers to entry, right? You can't sell alcohol on Amazon or things of that nature. And so we've kind of leaned into, what have some of those companies done? What have energy companies done? And taken from their marketing and executed from that perspective. But it doesn't mean we don't try and run an audience on someone who is maybe a concert goer or has interests that maybe are a little bit up to the line. I'd say that's probably where we dabble in those spaces is going to be audience targeting. Some work, some doesn't, and you kind of just learn as you go, right?
all right, well, Natalie, thank you so much. Let's give a big round of applause.